Wagwan, everybody. I am your Jamaican queen, Miss Y. You are tuned into How I See It TV. And this is a quick How I See It live. Y'all, I'm on lunch break, and I don't know if I'm the only person that does this. You don't know what you want for lunch. So you get in your car, especially if you didn't bring lunch, right? You sit in your car and for like a good 5-10 minutes, you're just sitting in the car trying to figure out what you're going to get for lunch. And where my job is, majority of the things that are available for me to eat around these parts is junk food. Okay? Unless I run over to Publix and I get a wrap or their oven baked jerk chicken. And I keep saying oven baked jerk chicken because that's exactly what it is. I mean, it tastes good. Shout out to the people at the Publix that seasoned it because it's well seasoned and it's well cooked down to the bone, but it's not real jerk chicken. It's oven baked. But anyways, I sat in the car for like 5 minutes pondering on whether or not I should go live and additionally trying to figure out what I wanted to have for lunch. But anyways, this live is about Monique Samuels. She is back on the Real Housewives of Potomac. And if y'all have been following me since at the least season 5 of Real Housewives of Potomac, then you know I am by no means a Monique Samuels fan. I started to peep who she was in season 3 as a person. Then by season 4, I was sure she wasn't okay in the head. And by season 5, she confirmed it. And she left the show. She was off reality TV for a while. Then she came back. Let me go by. Sorry, y'all. Oh my God, these people are just so, like, they don't want to let you over when you're driving. I mean, go ahead. One second. Because why would these people come and park right in the middle of the street and put their cones right in the middle of the street like that? Like, I hate when people do that. Anyways. And then you're trying to get over into the other lane and nobody will let you over. And they see, because you can see it from a distance that people gonna have to go, whatever. Anyways. So I was saying about Monique Samuels by season 4, I was like, she's not a good friend. And then by season 5, she proved that. And she hasn't been on reality TV for a minute. She left Real Housewives of Potomac during season 5, claimed that she wasn't fired, blah, blah, blah. Who knows the truth about that? Maybe she wasn't, maybe she was. It's neither here nor there. Then there was a 2-year window, and then she popped out on Love and Marriage DC under Carlos King's umbrella. And this show was supposed to be centered around her, but Winter, Winter was the breakout star. And for those of you who actually watched the first season of Love and Marriage DC, what you would have seen was Monique doing the same thing to Winter that she did to Candiace. And that is, she was keying and having a jolly old time kikiing with Winter about people. And then when she got in front of the people that they were kikiing about, what she did was throw Winter under the bus. And she went to the reunion and continued to not only throw Winter under the bus, but she surely backed up and drove over Winter. And I said, that's the same thing she did to Candiace. She did it in season 3 when her and Ashley were in the boutique with Candiace, and they were talking about how, well, what Monique said in season 3, for those of you who weren't watching The Real Housewives of Potomac back then, because a lot of people are season 5 watchers of The Real Housewives of Potomac. They saw a fight and they jumped onto the bandwagon. But there are a lot of us who've been here since season 1, episode 1. So we know the nuances. People like me who say who y'all think Candace is actually who Ashley is. People say Candace is vile, she runs her mouth too much, blah 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 blah. That's who Ashley is. Candace has not done, neither has she said half the vile and disgusting things that Ashley has said on that show. Candace hasn't done any of the nasty and vile things that Ashley has done on that show. So it always bewilders me that people say Candace is just this vile person based on this show, because I'm like, what show are y'all watching? Because that's Ashley. Ashley been a gutter snipe since season 1, if y'all were watching back then. Candace never starts with anyone. Candace, since season 3, when she joined Real Housewives of Potomac, she enters quietly, minds her business until people come for her. And then she claps back. And because she claps back louder than the person who clapped at her first, then all of a sudden she is wrong, because now people want to police how she responds to being a bully, not to, yeah, how she responds to being bullied is what people want to police. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. There is nobody who has religiously watched Real Housewives of Potomac since season 1, who saw Candace's entry on season 3, who can confidently say, oh, I can tell you an instant when Candace came for somebody on the cast first, because it doesn't exist. Even when Candace was talking about Ashley not really wanting to have a baby, what started that conversation was Ashley sitting in a lunch meeting with Candace and saying to her, I want us to get back in season 4, because in season 3 they had a falling out. So when season 4 came around, Ashley and Candace, they met up. And Ashley said to her, I'm glad that we're back on a better page, yada, 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 yada. And then Ashley's like, yeah, I'm trying to have a baby. I'm going through this route. The doctor's saying that I need to stop drinking. Michael wants me to stop drinking. And then they were going to Louisiana or New Orleans, whatever, New Orleans, on a girls' trip. And at this lunch meeting, Ashley says to Candace, Michael wants me to stop drinking. My doctor wants me to stop drinking. I think I need an accountability buddy, like somebody to tell me if I'm drinking too much. And she asks Candace to be that accountability partner. And Candace says, okay. So when you see Candace in season 4 saying to Ashley, girl, you're drinking too much. Girl, you say you want to have a baby. Put the corona down. And then the women who weren't privy to Candiace and Ashley having this conversation started to feel like Candiace was overstepping. Instead of Ashley saying, no, she's not overstepping, I asked her to tell me if I'm drinking too much, Ashley decided to play the victim. And then all the ladies decided that they were going to gang up on Candiace for doing exactly what Ashley asked her to do, including Monique, who the reason Candiace and Ashley fell out in season 3 was because Candiace was defending Monique and Karen. If y'all recall, Ashley was sitting on that show in season 3 talking about how it was because Monique was drinking and driving, is why Monique had a miscarriage. Those were Ashley's words. Ashley went to the confessionals and said, "Make no mistakes. I made no mistake in what I said," which was she was saying that Monique was a drunk driver. And Candace was defending Monique. Ashley was coming at Karen's neck regarding Ray and how Ray wanted to leave Karen and how Ray's penis was shriveled up. And Candace was the only one on that Paris trip in that Sprinter van that told Ashley to shut the F up and stop talking about people's husbands and relationships that way. That's why Ashley and Candace fell out, because Candace was defending Monique and Karen. And then Monique comes back after Ashley goes to the season 3 reunion and tells everybody that she had a miscarriage too. Everybody decided that they were going to come back in season 4, Baby and Ashley. Even Monique. And Monique was sitting there kikiing with Ashley and never said to her homegirl, Candace, like, look, I know you and Ashley aren't cool, but me and her were in a better space. I know one of the reasons why y'all fell out is because you were defending me, but I want you and Ashley to be cool too. Monique didn't did that. What she did was throw Candace under the bus by showing Ashley text messages between Monique and Candace. And Monique didn't show Ashley the parts of the text message thread where she was talking mad ish about Michael with Candace. Everybody acted like they weren't all talking negatively about Michael. Michael is a weirdo. And Candace and Karen Huger stood on that. So Monique and Candace have a falling out in season 4 because Monique didn't have Candace's back, and Monique was pregnant, and so the women, the green-eyed bandits, they weren't hazing her as much, and Monique was happy about that, so she started to side with the green-eyed bandits and Ashley on everything and left Candace out there in the wind all by herself. It was literally Candace and Karen versus Ashley and everybody else. Now, at the point in season 4 when Monique says, "I will throw this water bottle at you," let me tell you what happened in that scene. Candace and Karen were having a private conversation. A private conversation. They stepped to the side and they were having a private conversation. Mind you, Monique had already been ganging up on Candace the entire season alongside Ashley and alongside Giselle and Robin. So now Candace is upset about all of this, and her and Karen are having a private conversation. Who walks over there? Monique. Candace tells her, "Please walk away. Like, I'm not talking to you right now. This is a private conversation between me and Karen." And Monique gets upset because Candace, rightfully so, asks her to walk away. And what does Monique do because Candace asked her to walk away? She decided that she was going to threaten the girl. She said, "I will throw this glass water bottle at your head." This is a pregnant Monique who was telling people that she was having what do you call those pregnancies? A complicated pregnancy, saying that she's going to throw a water bottle at Candace simply because Candace asked her to exit the private conversation that she was having with Karen. And so Candace responds with, "You're going to hit me? You're going to hit me?" And then Monique says, "Yeah, I'll drag you pregnant and all." And Candace says, "Well, drag me, Monique." And that's what everybody holds on to say that's why Candace deserved to be dragging season 5 because she was asking for it since season 4. No. Monique has been threatening violence since season 2 of Real Housewives of Potomac. She threatened to drag Giselle on the pavement. She threatened to punch Giselle in her throat. Then she goes to season 3 and she's talking about she's gonna choke Robin out with an umbrella. Robin walks up into her face and says, "Do it," and Monique walks away. Then she goes to season 4, and she's threatening to throw a glass bottle at a castmate, and she's threatening to drag them. Then we finally get to season 5, and what does she do? Gets physically violent with a cast member simply because that cast member was engaged in a verbal battle with her. Monique started that verbal altercation in season 5. Candace had been walking away the entire season. Every time somebody wanted to argue with Candace, she said, "You know what? I'm sorry. I don't know why you're upset with me. I'm sorry, but I'm walking away." And Candace would walk away every single time. Every single time. When they went to Ashley's coming out of the house party, when Ashley had her baby in season 5, and she was in the house, and they said, "Okay, we're going to have a dinner for Ashley." Monique went to Candace's anniversary party. And when she went to the anniversary party, Charisse was at the party. And Monique was upset about that because at that time, she and Charisse had beef because allegedly Charisse was one of the people who was around the DMV spreading rumors about Monique and her trainer and the paternity of her last child. So she was upset with Charisse. So she was saying, if Candace is my friend, why is Charisse at this party? Right? So Monique goes and she has a sit down with Giselle. Mind you, Giselle is one of the people who was plotting to bring up the rumor on the show about the trainer and the paternity of the kid. And Monique knows this. But she goes and has a sit down with Giselle, and Giselle stirs the pot and says, "Oh, you know that it was Candace who invited Charisse to her anniversary party, right?" And this pisses Monique off because she thought that Charisse was there as a plus one to somebody else and not because Candace invited her. Mind you, after the season airs and Candace puts things into context, Candace was like, "I didn't know there was still beef between Monique and Charisse because 3 months before the filming of season 5, Monique was hugged up in a picture with Charisse." And I have the proof of this. If y'all go to peoplemagazine.com and type in Ashley's baby shower, Ashley's baby shower. Ashley's baby shower was 3 months before the filming of season 5 of Real Housewives of Potomac. So, girl, if you can be hugged up in a picture with Charisse, Monique was literally next to Charisse in the picture, hugged up. So, if you could be in a picture with this woman, how am I supposed to know that y'all still have beef like that? Because for me, if I'm not feeling somebody and I'm not at work, even if I'm at work, if we're taking a group picture, I'm going to go down to the other end. There were 5 people in the picture. Monique could have been at any other end of the picture. She was next to Charisse hugged up. And Candace said to Monique, well, before we get there, because this is why Monique is now out here talking about when people show you who they are and they show you that they're two-faced, believe them. Like, the reason why me and Candice can never have a friendship now is because we were building a friendship off camera and she was doing things behind the scenes that people don't know about. All Monique is talking about is Candice inviting Charisse to her anniversary party. That's it. That's all. That's the off camera ish that Monique is talking about. Nothing else. Because Candace ain't did nothing to this girl. Monique allowed Giselle to stir the pot. Monique had no other reason to be mad at Candace, but she wanted to force herself to be mad. Either that or Monique was just so unhappy in her marriage that she needed to take out all that anger, all that aggression on somebody, and it became Candace. Because there's nothing Candace did in that scene in season 5 that warranted the level of violence that Monique displayed. Candace, they were leaving the scene at the winery. And Candace says, "You know what? I love everybody." And here goes Ashley. "Oh, you love everybody? So that means you and Monique are cool?" And how does Monique respond? "Oh, Candace, she's over there. She's over there. I'm not dealing with her. I got nothing for her. I got nothing for her." and then starts to argue with Candace. And this was the only time during season 5 that Candace decided that, you know what, enough is enough. I'm going to respond because you have been coming at me, coming at me, coming at me, coming at me all season, and I've been walking away. I don't know what your issue is. So now I'm going to respond because now you're doing too much. Now you're doing too much. And she starts to argue with Candace, and Candace starts spitting around Candace. Mind you, Monique's hand was already being placed in Candace's face several times. When Candace was spinning around saying, good night, I'm asleep, I'm bored, Monique had her hands over the table telling Candace, spin around, chia pet. And then all the women were laughing at Monique because Candace was winning the verbal sparring. Candace was winning the verbal sparring. And then when Monique got upset, Candace repeated what she repeated in season 4. Girl, you're getting upset. What you gonna do? Put your hands on me? Then Monique responds, do you want me to? And she started to flip Candace's hair. Monique started the physical contact between them. So when she started to flip Candace's hair, talking about, do you want me to flip Candace's hair? Do you want me to flip Candace's hair again? Candace reaches over and flips the lapel on Monique's vest. And that's all Monique needed. That's all Monique needed. Forget that you were touching Candace first. Oh, she touched me back. Now I'm going to whoop her ass. She had no reason to be that angry at Candace. Candace wasn't the one spreading the rumors. Candace was the one who let her know. Season 4, Andy's baby shower was held in January. In January, right? The the sit down happened in January. The reunion for season 4 happened around June or July of the same year. So season 4 reunion, Candace and Monique weren't even cool. But Candace still said, I'm sitting here listening to these women trying to plot out how they're going to bring up some rumors about Monique. And even though her and I aren't cool, I'm not going to allow that to happen. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to call up Karen and tell Karen, like, yo, Giselle is sitting here saying some wild shit. She's talking about how they're going to go to the reunion, the season 4 reunion, and bring up the paternity of Monique's baby. Please let Monique know that this is what these girls are planning. Karen said that on season 5 reunion that it was Candace who let her know and she called Monique. So how do you go into season 5, Monique, more mad at Candace than you are at Giselle? And mind you, Monique and Ashley are so cool, but during season 5, Ashley took to her Instagram and said to the people, Charisse has never spread any rumors about anybody's family. So Ashley and Charisse can be cool and you and Ashley are such good friends, but Candace can't invite this lady to her party? And that's what you're so mad about? And even though she was mad about Candace inviting Charisse to the anniversary party, she still had Candace as one of the guests on her Not for Lazy Moms podcast event. And after Candace went to Monique's lake house and Monique was still just treating her horribly, Candace decided that she wasn't going to go to the event. She pulled out. She said, you know what? There's so much going on between us. I don't want to be fake and phony. So I'm going to pull out of this event. And that made Monique mad because she was already complaining about how much money she spent on the event and no one was buying tickets. No one was buying tickets. And now Candace pulled out. Girl, why would you want her to show up when you've been treating her horribly all season? So Candiace pulls out of the event, and then right after that, it's the barn wine scene where Monique puts hands on Candiace. So y'all see that it wasn't because Candiace was running her mouth or because of anything Candiace was doing behind the scenes, according to Monique. It was all pent up anger on Monique's part. She was mad at her marriage. She was mad that some of her secrets were being exposed. She was mad that she couldn't really fight Giselle. She couldn't really fight Robin. She couldn't really fight Charisse. And the only person left for her to take out her anger, she couldn't fight Ashley because Ashley was pregnant. She definitely couldn't fight Robin because when in season 3, when she had that umbrella at Robin's neck and Robin was all in her face, like, okay, choke me out with the umbrella. Let's see what happens. Monique didn't do anything. She didn't do nothing. So she couldn't fight Giselle because, girl, she had put hands on Giselle. She would have definitely been done on RHOP. It would be no either coming back as a friend off. Okay? She couldn't fight Robin because Robin would have mollywopped her. Charisse wasn't there. She really had no reason to fight old ass Karen. And she couldn't put her hands on Ashley because Ashley was pregnant. So who was left? The little tiny 5 foot tall, maybe less than that, Candiace, who everybody knows don't fight. Candiace, who really had done nothing to Monique but be a good friend to her. And now you're back on Real Housewives of Potomac, Monique, and you're still spreading the same lies. All of a sudden, Cookie is the worst person in the world. But during season 5, when Cookie was online on all her fake accounts, going after Candiace on your behalf, you didn't think Cookie was evil then. But now because Cookie's doing the same thing to you that she did to Candiace in season 5, all of a sudden, Cookie is just can't be trusted. But you were trusting her. You were trusting her in season 5 to go at Candiace though. Candiace is two-faced now. But when she was giving you the scoop on what Giselle was about to do to you at the season 4 reunion, she wasn't two-faced then. When she was defending you, when Ashley was calling you a drunk and telling people that's why you lost your baby, Candace wasn't two-faced then, was she? The only two-faced person in that friendship was you, Monique. You were two-faced from season 3 when Candiace was getting to know you. You continue to be two-faced in season 4 when you fixed your relationship with Ashley but left Candiace out in the cold. And then you continue to be two-faced in season 5 because instead of clocking Giselle and the lies that she was trying to tell about your family, you decided to go at Candiace. And so I need the people who continue to talk about season 5 to go and watch Real Housewives of Potomac from season 1, episode 1. And then watch coming all the way to season 5 and see that everything I've said right now is the truth. Monique is back talking about, oh, she's a changed person. No, you are the same manipulative person that you were in season 5. That's what all these interviews are given because you go on Watch What Happens Live and you say, oh, there was no relationship between me and Candiace, so really there's nothing for us to reconcile. But then you go on another interview and you say, me and Candiace, we had a relationship off camera, and that's why, I can't reconcile with her because unlike Giselle and I weren't building an off-camera relationship. Girl, which is it? Which is it? Did you and Candace not have a relationship or did you have a relationship? Because, girl, you were calling Candace little sis. Okay? Candace was at your house. You were at Candace's house. Chris was at y'all's house cooking on the grill and all of that. So which was it? Because Candace's issue with you in season 4 was you were trying to sun her in front of the group instead of taking her to the side like a big sister should have been doing and saying, this is the issue I'm having with you as it relates to Ashley. No, every time you tried to check Candace, you were doing it in front of the group, trying to sun her in season 4. And that was her problem. And she told you that to your face, one on one in a scene, and you continued to do it. Monique has always wanted to kiss Giselle's ring. She has always wanted Giselle's friendship. And now she has it. Now she has Giselle's love and validation. Girl gonna sit in front of Giselle and said, "Oh, I felt so bad because what I did, I didn't think about how it could impact your children." Girl, Giselle sat in the confessionals and said that your son was the product of an affair. She wasn't thinking about how those rumors would impact your children and your household. You telling the truth about Angel and the door and the other one's daddy, how is that impacting them? If they don't know by now their daddy is a ho ho ho, then I'm sorry for those girls. Because it's not the best kept secret out here. It's not the best kept secret. You did what you were supposed to do. Giselle was lying on you. But here you go bowing down. Oh, I felt so bad. I didn't think about how. Girl, get real, Monique. Stop the lies. It's fine that you don't want to have a friendship with Candace. That the people like me who are fans of Candace, we don't have an issue with you not wanting to have a friendship with her because clearly Candace might can be maybe Candace can be cordial, but ain't no way Candace should want a friendship with somebody that put hands on her. You are a liability. You can't be trusted to keep your cool. I don't care how much spiritual journeys you said you've been on. And the people who call Candace immature, mind you, Candace has never lost her temper to the point where she put hands on people. That's a sign of immaturity that you couldn't keep your hands to yourself. It's a sign of immaturity to sit and lie on people's families like Giselle and Ashley does. But Candace is the immature one. Crying doesn't make her immature. I am a crier, and I cry because I want to whoop people's behinds. I cry because I know if I really say the ish that I want to say, when I'm angry, it's going to be me really going further than hell with you. And so crying is just self-soothing. Like I can't beat you up, and I don't want to say the ish that's on my mind. So you know what? Let the tears fall. And the people who believe that crying is a sign of immaturity are people who just don't understand stuff like that. So Monique, stop the lying, girl. Stop the lying. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to your fans. Take full accountability. What you did in season 5 was wrong. Who you should have been going at in season 5 was Giselle, and you didn't do that. You went at the person who actually helped you. Candace wrote an affidavit for Monique so that she could have sent a cease and desist to Monique's BFF Gigi, who was helping to spread the rumors. But Monique didn't tell the people that. So how you put your hands on the person who was helping you to go up against the Giselle and the Gigis and the Cherise according to you? Make that make any kind of sense. Own that, okay, you don't want to rekindle a friendship with Candace, but yes, there should be a deeper conversation had. Because if you're realizing that what you did to her had nothing to do with her and that she didn't deserve it, then you need to say that to her face and be genuine about it. Because when you so-called apologize on the reunion in season 5 because Andy forced you to say sorry, that wasn't an apology. To say to somebody, I'm sorry if you are hurt by what I did. What do you mean if she's hurt by what you did? You clearly see that she's hurt. And then you go on to say, I hope you can heal from it. You don't tell somebody how they're supposed to feel. You say, I'm sorry, what I did was wrong, and I hope you can forgive me. That's it. Not I take accountability for my part in what happened, and I'm sorry if you are hurt by what I did. Yes, she's hurt. What were you missing? But anyways, y'all, my lunch break is almost done. I ain't even bought my lunch yet. I'm gonna go get my my lunch now. I'm gonna get me some juicy beef patty and a drink, maybe a cocoa bread. And then maybe we can catch up later. How about that? Let me know if y'all want to catch up later. Drop down in the comment section below. Let me know how you see things too. Shout out to Ebony the Best for stopping by. And Miss Cece. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate y'all jumping in the comments and chatting with me. I appreciate that. All right. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. And until my next video, walk good. Bye.